This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and what everyone else needs from you and never take a moment to think about what you need from yourself. Whether it's friends, family, a job, they all deserve the best version of you. That's why it's important to take time for yourself. Everyone can benefit from therapy. It's helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/reps today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/reps.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Between the Reps with Brooke, Jeanna, and Devin. I'm just drinking my special water, and you're going to hear all about my special water with our guest. His name is Lakota Muenala or Muenala. We got to ask him. Muenala. I think it's Muenala. And he is the CEO of a company called Stealth Detox Water. And to be honest, I don't even want to tell you guys anything about it. I've been researching for a long time about this type of water. It's alkaline water. But beyond that, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to leave it to the person who his job is to educate people about their health and the importance of being alkaline and the importance of H2O2 water. And it's really, mind-blowing and really exciting. So with that said, let's bring him on in.
Bring him in.
Hi.
All right. I am in.
He's in.
Yay.
Hello.
There you go. How you doing? Hi, Jeanna. Nice to meet you.
Hi. Nice to meet you too.
Looking forward to it.
So
how you doing, Brooke?
I'm great. We did a little intro and I was like, I'm drinking my special water. I drink so much water. I pee all the time.
Detoxing like crazy.
Yeah, just getting it all
She's a
out.
master detoxer.
Hey, that's good.
I'm a professional detoxer. I'm not professional yet, but I'm well on my way. I did not share any information about any of it besides the main detail of your company and alkaline water. And I left everything for you to educate. And I haven't told anything to Jeanna. And Devin was about to fill her in. And I was like, no, don't tell her. I want her to
It's going to be a new experience for me. There's a test.
I just want you to get it from the person who can actually give you all of the information, science, and stuff that I would completely butcher if I tried to explain it.
No worries. That's why I'm here.
Can you tell us how do you pronounce your last name?
Sure. It is Muenala.
Good job.
I said that.
There you go.
Muenala. I was sending a voice note to Devin. I was like, am I pronouncing this right? I'm like, it's either Muenala or it's Muenala. And I'm not sure.
Nope. You knocked it out. You got it good.
Perfect. It's kind of like my last name. People are like, what's your last name? Ence. And they're like, how do you spell it? E-N-C-E. They're like, N-C? And I'm like, no, almost. But the E is silent, like at the end of my name.
That's it. So the water's been good for you thus far?
Yeah, everyone's drinking it. And a good friend of mine who has breast cancer, I've gotten big jugs and I just keep filling them up and take them over to her house. And when they're empty, she lets me know. I go pick them up, bring them over, fill them up, take them back.
That's what I like to hear. That's what we do here at the store, as you know. But for your friend to know as well, this is like the store we have where people can come in and get water, refills, and everything like that with the bottles and stuff.
That's awesome. That's really nice. We need one of those here.
I know we do.
So,
we do.
Lakota, will you give us and all of our listeners just like a little background about you and maybe, especially how you got into all of this? Because years ago, like a long time ago, I remember a friend of mine down in LA, like Jeanna, when we used to go down there to podcast, I had a friend who was he worked for a company that kind of sold water units, and I didn't really know much about it. And it's such a bummer. Like it took me so long to where then I started diving deep into understanding the importance of it in and of itself, and where we really have, like, everyone is falling short, not because we want to, but because of all of the really environmental issues. Or when I say environmental, I think industrialization of, farming and ranching that
Everything.
has depleted soil and depleted so many things. And I wish I knew it sooner so bad, but at least I know it now.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all about knowing now, and you know something now and you made a difference. So that's all you can do. But the good thing is, with all, say, the damage you've done on the body with bad water, bad foods, you can, because the body's so amazing, you can do a lot of restoration from the inside out with this water. So we'll get into the science and all that shortly. But to answer your question and kind of go with what you were just saying, the world of water is a vast one. And for years, I was under the same impression that your typical bottled water or basic filter was good enough. And say 50 to 100 years ago, it was decent to drink out your tap, because the infrastructure to the chemicals being polluted and leached into our drinking water wasn't as severe. But nowadays, the water that we have now, municipal, coming out of our homes everywhere, is just subpar because of all the chemicals and the treatments they have to do to it, and the infrastructure with pipes. Now, that's why there's lead, mercury, other forever chemicals in the water that's getting into our drinking waters. And like I was saying, your basic refrigerator or Brita filter isn't able to combat against the toxicity. And then everybody, I'd say about 20 years ago, made the switch to like bottled water as the go-to. And so now everybody's under the impression that your Fiji water to your core water, Ascension now is really popular, but it's all in plastic bottles. And so that's the biggest kind of tip we have, is you can't bottle fresh water and bottle it and shelve it, distribute it, unless you have to use certain additives and chemicals. And so that's what we've done with our water, is made it to a point where it's so fresh that we can't bottle and shelve it, because it has a shelf life. Just like your produce and your meats and stuff, they go bad, they have an expiration date. So we kind of look at it as, you got to go back to the kind of origin of what humans consumed and ate back in the day, and why everybody had such a longer lifespan. I mean, people are dying at 30, 40 years old. Everybody's getting cancer. All this is rampant around the States, especially because of the lifestyle we live, what's accessible. I mean, literally, I'm looking out the store right here. You got McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, like they got everything that you could ever want. And typically with stuff that doesn't taste the best, it's usually healthier, and the stuff that tastes good, it isn't healthy. So it's kind of a vicious cycle we're in with the States. And so hopefully with this podcast and future knowledge that we can share together, we can help just educate people. And so that's what you were saying, is you might have heard about it back then, but now you hear about it more. So people are finally caring more about their water, understanding more about it, and looking into it. And so I'm excited to get this information out to everybody, to be able to let them know that there is a solution that's easy. You could literally have one of these systems just put in and solve all your water problems for drinking, for you and the family, pets, plants, everything. Also better water for cooking and for cleaning needs as well. But we'll get into more of the actual system and how it works. So to, I guess, stop and let you talk for a second, I can go more in depth with myself, the company, and all that, but I'll let you chime in.
Yeah, I mean, we're all ears for everything you have to share with us. But I will say it's crazy, because I try to, it's an assumption, right? Because I'm assuming for a mass majority of people, based off of my own experience or people I'm around, the concept that I feel like people think of water like two different ways. Like, we know that if you're out hiking, you don't always want to just drink water from the stream. Mm-hmm. You can if it's running. But you do also consider, like, at least from how I grew up, because we do a lot of, hunting and camping, you usually are thinking like, well, if there happened to be a dead deer or something that's upstream, like a carcass, and that's flowing down, like, well, then you could get parasites, you could get really sick. So you always kind of take that gamble. But I do feel like people consider water more like this. Like, if it's coming out of my tap, it's clean. There are certain states that, you were like, oh, you don't drink tap water. Okay. So there's certain areas you got to pay attention. Like, can I drink tap water? Can I not? But people really, it's, we only know what we know. And a lot of people, I think it's changing more so now, but at least as I was growing up, under this idea that there's so much trust in the system. And now people are realizing that no, the system doesn't work for the people, they work for themselves. And
well, they used to put tons of fluoride in your water.
Exactly. It's still, I remember back in dosage in certain places.
Yeah. I remember it was like, you need fluoride in the water. And then it was like, oh no, you don't need fluoride in the water. And we're like, well, fuck, we already drank all the fluoridated water.
Yeah. Cool. What do we do now?
Fluoride water. Like,
help.
Where do we go from here? Is there an anti-fluoride I can take?
To help get rid of it.
Yeah. So for me, with learning from you, and even like, remember when I first had water sent to me, at that point, it's like, I still didn't quite understand. Like, I knew that something was different, but in my mind too, it was like, well, I mean, we filtered water, and like here at the house, like we've got, the filters that kind of, I don't like, and we talked about it, like it's never going to get everything out, but like for, like obviously small particles or things that are maybe like, you can get filters for metals and things like that, but it still doesn't solve the problem, like you said, of the chemicals and other things that are just already in there, and you're going to consume that. And then on top of that, because me and Jeanna, and Devin, like I've talked about this for so long, like I hate traveling and you go to like a nice hotel, and they've like, even like Vegas, right? You stay at like the Wynn, you stay at some beautiful big hotel, like they make massive amounts of money. Mm-hmm. And the walls are all nice and the decorating. And I'm like, but you shower and it is awful water. Yep. I mean, your skin, your hair, everything is. And so, the three of us are very particular about trying as hard as we can to have healthy hair. We're like we baby our hair. And, so like I started trying to figure out like, how can I get a filter? Is there someone out there that like makes a shower head that's like a travel shower head, or something that when I travel, I can hook it up to the faucet and I can run my water through a different filter, so it's going to be better for my hair, skin, and everything like that. But I do see some shower filters that I pop up on like online. You get those ads,
Amazon.
And I'm like, I just question it. It's like, well, I don't know. Is it actually going to do what we want it to do? And then I think you have like analysis, like paralysis by analysis. And because water in and of itself, collectively, people just think like, oh, you got to drink water. But you were the first person, Lakota, that helped me understand that like we don't, and stuff that I've listened to and read, but like we don't drink water. Like we need electrolytes to hydrate. It doesn't matter how much water you consume. If you don't have the things that you need in the water, it's not going to do what we think it's doing. So no matter how much water we're pounding when I'm exercising or we're hiking or it's hot or at the beach, whatever it is, it's actually not doing the job that it's supposed to do. And I never really knew that. And I think that is where like, the information you've shared with me and you're going to share on this podcast, it's knowledge is power, 100%. And I think that if everyone listening to this podcast and you share this podcast, it really is important, even though it may feel a little bit like nonsense or like, oh yeah, I get it. No, like take the time to really listen and dive deep into some research for yourself, because it really can make a massive difference on your health. And that is why I put the water unit in my parents' home. I'm like, and my dad, when I was saying I wanted to do it, like I wanted to get him like, hey, can we do this? And his thought was like, oh, well, it's got to be for like, you're working with a company, like what? Yeah, it's for, sponsorship. And I was like, no. Yeah. I'm like, no, I need you to drink this every day. And his mind was like, he's like not worried at all. Like, I'm not going to do that. Right. And then we get it and it's in, and we've been to like family events, or like social gatherings. It's so funny where some sort of conversation sparks up. And then my mom mentions like, oh, Brooke had this like water system put in our house and it's like alkaline water. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And I'm like, see, do you see?
Yep, see now.
So
exactly.
Now my parents drink it. Anyone who's here is drinking it. And I really love the sterilizing button, because my mom will use that to wipe the counters down. It's fantastic.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and what everyone else needs from you, and never take a moment to think about what you need from yourself. Whether it's friends, family, a job, they all deserve the best version of you. That's why it's important to take time for yourself. Everyone can benefit from therapy. It's helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/reps today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/reps.
I would just ask,
Tell us
like,
about it.
why water? Like, how did you get into water? You know, because it's like,
Yes.
yeah, because
Great
it's
question.
like something that, like, was it something that happened where you were like, this tastes like shit, or I don't know.
Yeah. So check this out. So for the knowledge and everything of like how I got started, I'm going to explain it, but I'll show y'all real quick. So I did this exact same thing. I think it should be okay being on the video. So I have a client about to be here. I'm gonna have my guy Kyle come in and fill her up. But I actually walked in the store and did this exact same thing that I'm about to do with her. No, it's okay. I'm doing a video, but you're more than welcome to come in. I'll have Kyle come in and take care of you and everything. Hey, Kyle, you mind filling her up?
I'm waiting now.
Yep. So I personally came into this store and I had started my own water journey, and I cared about water. And so I was like, all right, there's got to be something better out there that I can be able to consume. And so we actually, probably the same company that Brooke heard about back in the day. They've been around for a long time, but they came from like China and stuff, which over there, everybody's super healthy and fit. And it's because they got onto the water game way before everybody else did. So these machines originated about 80 years ago over there. They made their way over to the States. So I got educated about these systems, and I was like, all right, there's got to be something to them. They're expensive, but I'm willing to invest in my health and my body. And I was spending a fortune on bottled water because I didn't drink tap. I mean, growing up as a kid, we were drinking Bayou water. We were drinking anything.
Right.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter. But after I got a little more educated and then got out on my own, went to college, I was buying bottled water, but I did my numbers. I was spending like $200 to $300 a week on water. And so I was like, there's got to be something better. And so that's why I first discovered the systems. But long story short, it brought me to this parking lot because I was born and raised in this area, in New Orleans area. And so this store just happened to be here. And when I came here, I went to go to get a burger from this little burger spot right here next to the store we have today. And so I ended up coming in, not even on my own will. Somebody pretty much said, you got to go in there if you're spending that much money to look at these machines so you can at least know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
So like, all right. So as soon as I walk in, I met the original founder of the company that built the whole thing, built the stores, invented the product and everything. And he started the company. We'll get into this if y'all like as well, because of his wife's cancer. And the science behind this water is no disease, including cancer, can exist in an alkaline environment. And so that's what he built. The company's foundation was on that science. And with the organic water filtered correctly, it's really able to help regenerate the body at the cellular level, helping to rid the body of free radicals and acids. And the science is cancer lives in acid and thrives on sugar. So pretty much exactly what I'm telling you is what he was telling me in the store. It's funny that I'm standing here in this role now, telling y'all. Yeah, it's surreal. So after everything he told me, he went into performance and all this stuff as well, because it just so happened if you help the human body at the cellular level, it helps with disease and cancer and all that. But when you're younger, maybe not battling any health issues, it can really help just keep your body healthy, your immune system, your skin, everything that you want to while you're youthful, look good, everything, but also with your health performance wise. So I was big into the gym, training all the time. So I was like, he was telling me how it's going to help hydrate you more. So it's going to help with your performance, your recovery, strength, and everything. And so the buzzword back in the day was stronger, longer, faster. And so he sold me on that idea. I was like, all right, I like this. I like you. He sold me on him. first off. And then the product was awesome. Being based here in the States, the story behind it, and him being like just a small kind of mom and pop shop was different than buying from a big company that I don't even get to see anybody or try the product before. So that's why I personally made the switch to at least trying this. So he gave me 2 gallons of the water and I left. And just by drinking it while I was eating, and then at the end of pretty much the day, it would say 9 o'clock at night, I drank the whole gallon. And I don't know if it was placebo or not, but I felt so energized and I felt so good that I was like, all right, there's something to this. So I continued to drink it for a week. I'm coming. I'm gonna let this guy come in here too. All right. So nope, you're good. Come on. So I drank it for about a week. And then after a week of drinking it, I was so sold on it. I loved him. I loved the water, everything about it. So I was like, all right, what can I do to be involved and work with y'all and help grow this company? And he's like, I don't need y'all. I don't need, this is me and my buddy. I don't even need y'all. But we ended up making an agreement that we could do some like outside stuff and see if we had anything to bring to the table. And we didn't do anything worthy of pretty much being in the company. We didn't sell any machines or anything, but he liked our grit and he liked what we were bringing to the table. So after about 3 months, we started getting some leeway. We started doing some good stuff. We had a couple of machines sold, and he invited us to the CES show in Vegas. It's like a consumer electronics show where he was presenting this product because it really never made it out of Louisiana until we got involved 7 years ago. So we did that, and then we just slam dunked, and it's been uphill ever since. And then about 5 years ago, we got some athletes on board, and athletes know other athletes, and if it's a good product, they'll share it. So we first got some NFL guys, and then now we have about 250 NFL players that have machines. After last 2 years since we got Shaq on the water, it's been explosive since then. So it's been the rapport we needed to get us to the next level and expand. And now we have awesome people and celebrities like Brooke drinking the water. We're on podcasts, doing cool stuff. So it's been good. It's been fun.
Very cool. So that was, you were introduced to it how long ago?
So I first got introduced to Stealth 7 years ago.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep. It's been a long journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I trust, so I'm a huge skeptic about everything. Brooke knows this about me.
She's a
Every time she'll like,
she's a 6. She's a 6.
My personality is very
skeptic.
I'm very skeptical.
She's constantly aware of danger.
Yes.
She's my
all the
my
dangers
6
around.
she's my 6 that like raises all the, you know, the questions that
Security
are like,
questions.
Yeah,
Security.
that's good. You're a helicopter friend.
Yeah. But no, so anytime somebody has something like this, I'm always like, but does it? Really? So I like the fact that you've been doing it for 7 years. Like that at least shows, you know, it hasn't been like this, like, I don't know, last minute. I've been doing this for 6 months.
Blow up real quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
The company's actually been in business 10 years. So he already established it, had stores and everything. Have a good one, man. And kind of did it all by himself. And then when I came in, it was a good combination because he's in his 70s when I met him, and he didn't care about the internet, social media. He wasn't in that like, let's expand and grow this.
That's a whole other world. Yeah.
Yeah, mindset.
I need this young kid to bring me into the future.
Yep. So the young blood, he's like, that's what you brought to the table. And so with the combination of my just, I guess, youth, my grit, plus the concept of social media and just internet in general, it was perfect synergy. And just brick by brick, I had a lot of ideas to go this way. He had a lot of ideas to go this way. But together we were able to expand it and get it to this point organically, because we're not like all these other social media companies, not to dog them. It's a good system for them, not our product. But we didn't pay people to talk about us, give away free product like everybody does. And so it was hard to go to all these different people that are used to that and say, no, we're not going to give it to you free, but we'll hook you up and make it worth your time, but you're going to love the product. And so that's kind of how it expanded. But people know us now kind of reputation wise that we're not like all those other companies, and they reach out to us when they're ready to take their health and water to the next level.
Like me.
Awesome.
Yep. Like you.
Like me. Yeah.
Yep.
Lakota sent me water. You know, he reached out to me a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was probably about 2 or 3 years, maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah, three years ago. And I got the message and I like looked into it, and it was, as an athlete, that was kind of the conversation was, I mean, this is going to help your athletic performance. Right. And I was way into it, and, they sent me some to try, and I tried it. And then of course, like we were actually discussing this before you got on, sometimes when you're just I'm so grateful that you kept reaching out, because it's not a lack of me not wanting to have the conversation. It's literally a lack of inability to keep my attention on something when you're constantly having things pop up all the time.
Exactly.
And I've just been doing research, and I was learning a lot and listening and reading. And I remember when I first reached back out to you, because I was like, I couldn't remember, I was learning about the importance of how our body, we are electric, right? We're not chemical. And it's so important for us to maintain an alkaline state in our cells so they can stay healthy, and understanding the fact that everything we put in our body for the most part, and all the drinks and all the things, are so acidic that we are depleting our cells. Every cell in our body is just, it's like we're beating it down more and more and more and more and more. And so you are seeing all these sicknesses and illnesses, and even like as basic as like your cold, or being able to fight off like, a flu or a cold. It's people getting sick more often, not being able to beat it as fast. And then what do? We all run, every commercial on TV is a pharmaceutical drug. Everybody just goes to the doctor to try and cover it up. But what I was starting to understand, please.
No, I said quick fixes. That's what everybody's doing nowadays.
A quick fix
it's not the core.
So when I started doing like a lot of research, I never even fully understood, I think the first time we were chatting, like alkaline, I didn't understand. I didn't know. Right. And so as I started to like read this stuff and hear this information and pay attention and like understanding the science and seeing everything behind it, I immediately was like, is this machine an alkaline?
Yeah.
Alkaline? He's like, yes. And I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I got to get one. Which one do I get? Cause for me, it was like, it felt like this race as fast as I can for my own health, but for all the people around me, for their health. It was like, I bought the machine and had it installed, not for me first. It was for my parents first. And that's why I was like, Dad, you're going to drink this water because I need you to live as long as possible, because I need you around.
That's it.
And it's the beauty of it. And I want you to dive into the science and everything, because that's really what helped me like grasp it. And I understand it in a way that's like, oh, wow, I can really understand the importance of something so simple that you can do. And I think that because of how medicine is in the States and just how we live and a lot of things, simple almost seems like it's too easy. So it can't make sense, right?
Yes.
Oh, organic living water. Okay, well, it's almost like that's too simple for that to be something that could really combat cancer, could really combat these things that are so aggressive that talking cancer, because, Sunny going through it right now, starts chemo next week, is like, when you have this big disease or something that is causing a lot of ailment or a lot of issues, it feels like you almost need something bigger, stronger, greater than that to solve it.
Yeah.
And so me understanding, like, there are other things that you can obviously do, like going through something like cancer. There's a lot of different, diets you should be on, but then like herbal supplements and different things that you should also can be taking to help. But the power of alkaline water is, honestly, it's mind blowing. But I think because the concept of just water is so simple, and we've been drinking water our whole lives, it's like, that can't be real. Mm-hmm. Fake news.
Fake news. Speaking of fake news, that's the kind of a differentiating line for a lot of people. They don't understand is they have all these bottles that are alkaline now, and they believe in the alkaline concept, but they're drinking the wrong water, because you can't bottle this water.
That's what I was going to ask you. I used to drink alkaline water all the time. I can't remember what kind it was, but it was like a blue bottle, big tall blue bottle.
Yeah. Might have been Eternal water, but they got a lot of them.
But I used to drink it all the time. And I always thought, like, is there anybody regulating this? Like, how would I even know if, you know what I mean? Exactly. I mean, they just stamp it on there. Is this like FD? I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
All right, I got you. I'll go down a little rabbit hole, two rabbit holes, and then I'll let y'all talk again. But the thing with what you were saying, the system. All right. So 2 things on the system. First, fun fact: the FDA, EPA does not fully regulate bottled water.
Does not surprise me.
Yeah, I know, right?
yeah.
And so
not a shock.
they can claim a lot, and there's a very small guideline they have to abide by. Pretty much, don't kill somebody, and you have to be able to have it bottled and not grow bacteria. And so that's what they do. Not to get too in depth with bottled water right now, but we'll talk about it in a second if you want me to. But all bottled water, for the most part, is either distilled or reverse osmosis water. So that's what we're talking about. Not all water is created the same. So distilled water is pretty much vapored water, and it has no minerals. It has nothing contained at all. So people back in the day, I guess nowadays too, thought that it's good because there's nothing in it. But no, there's no life to it. It's dead water, and it's acidic. So what happens when you consume water like that is it flushes you because it pulls those negative ions out the body, and it pulls alkaline out of the bones and tissues because your body has to compensate to keep that pH balance of the body acclimated at all times, because the blood's pH is 7.4. It's like 7.3 something, but 7.4, round it up, and it will maintain that pH no matter what. So you could go eat chips and drink distilled water for a month and you'll live, maybe. But what's going to happen is it's going to pull so many nutrients out the body. You'll become probably very ill. You'll probably lose a ton of weight in a bad way, and you'll have a lot of health issues. But your body will still maintain that pH balance. So that's the concept with this water, is it's so fresh and natural, has that negative charge and ions into it, which we'll get into in a second. But
it's basically a self-defense mechanism in your body to maintain being alive.
Yes.
It will slowly just kill you.
Yeah, pretty much.
To maintain life, it's like we're just going to kill other parts of your body until we can't pull anything else.
Yeah, all your limbs and your organs will all fail before you die. And so that's what will call you to die. And so, but your body, that fight or flight that's how it reacts. But with this water being so good and natural, since the blood has to be 7.4, this water being ranging between a 9, 10, all the way up to an 11 alkalinity level naturally, it helps to compensate for the bad stuff that gets in the body. So the acidic side of life of what we're eating. So pretty much anything food-wise nowadays, unless it's fruits and veggies, is acidic forming. Alkaline forming is like asparagus, fruits, like avocados, like anything. Even lemons are alkalizing. They're acidic. You put it in your mouth, your eyes, like it'll burn. But when it goes through the body and that digestive system, it becomes alkaline. So that's what they say in the morning: put some lemon in your water because it's alkaline. Technically, it is alkaline, but that is also going to assist in ridding your body of acids, toxins, and help to balance and make it easier for your body to maintain. So everybody knows, I'm sure y'all do, when you eat really healthy, you feel good, you're doing good, you feel like you're up there, and your mood and your vibes are at the top, versus after like a crazy bender weekend, you eating bad, drinking, you come back, you're like, I'm never drinking again.
My whole life's been a bender.
Every day. Every time.
My whole life's a bender. I'm like, wait, have I ever felt good? I don't know.
Exactly.
How do I feel right now?
You talked about like limbs dying and stuff, and I was like, maybe that's what's going on with this body. I don't know.
Exactly. And so the good thing with the stealth, though, you need to get on it, is you can continue to do the bad stuff, but at least put the good stuff in. You kind of meet the middle.
Right. Yeah. Why would I give it up? I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Just drink stealth.
Drink stealth.
You may not extend your life, but you'll definitely not speed up.
Right. Yes. Speed up the process.
Make that process a little bit
Make
faster.
it work against each other. I love it.
Yep. Our new motto can be you.
Not me. Not me, though.
Yeah, drink, eat bad, smoke, but just drink your water.
Right. Yeah. You definitely don't want me as like a poster girl for this business. It's actually perfect, because believe it or not, 90% of our clients are wanting to enjoy life, and they would eat bad and they would do all this, but they also want to look good and they feel good. Yeah. And so that's like that battle that everybody has with their own mind is my demons. Yes.
Yeah. Everybody has their own battles they're fighting. So we're just trying to make it a little easier.
Right. Okay. Perfect. Sold.
That's it. Yep. So to finish what I was saying with the body and alkalinity and everything, the body itself, if you look at it from medical and just overall organ structure concept, it's water is the most important thing. Water, you can't go, I think, more than like 7 days or something without water. And so you'll literally die. I think without food, you can go maybe like a month or so without food. So that just shows you, and obviously number one, I guess, is air.
Right.
So
We need that.
air, air, water, food is your top
Right.
three. All right.
Right.
And so with water being the most important, because obviously we have air everywhere, but water being the most important thing, it's crazy how so many people overlook it because it's just easily available. Everybody's like, oh yeah, it's like I have a bed because I need to sleep at night. So like people like, I guess take advantage of their water and they don't really understand it. And so nowadays after COVID, after all this stuff going on with like Flint, Michigan to Ohio's water spill, Delaware's water spill, everybody's starting to look more into health, wellness. And when we're talking system, we're talking FDA and all that, you can't fully trust everything nowadays of what they're allowing. I mean, if they're allowing fast food to be on every corner, then what's their end goal? Like the medical field and all that.
Make people
money.
sick so they can use
Money.
pharmaceuticals. Yes.
Money.
It's a vicious cycle. So people are taking health into their own hands. And we've been very fortunate that we built the company and we wrote it out because we were kind of slow after about 5 years of building everything. We got some athletes here and there, but we needed something really big to make a difference, to really get into people's heads to be like, all right, maybe I need to have better water. And so after COVID, that's just kind of like our own blessing as a company, because people are like running out of water. All the stores around here had no water, locked down. So we sold more machines than ever during COVID and after COVID, and it's continued to trend. So the overall world is becoming more health conscious. And so it's like a perfect time for people to really start looking into their water. So everybody listening and future people that y'all are going to help influence to look into their water as well. It's a simple solution with just one little install. You can have just clean water at the touch of a button. I think it should be accessible for everybody. And that's the goal of our company, is just to have a machine in every single home, every single school, hospital, all that. So everybody can have good water. Because like I was saying, you can eat bad here and there and not work out and all that. But if you just drink your water, you'll definitely have longer life expectancy.
All right.
Yeah.
So you can basically,
Gotta
you can
drink
be
that
a
water.
shitbag and literally care about nothing. But if we can convince you to care about your health just enough to invest in better water, you'll be, you could still be better, but you'll be better than you were.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you for only $5,000.
Right.
Well, I will say,
sorry, go ahead, B.
Oh, I was just going to make a comment, just something that when I got my unit, obviously Lakota will talk about the different things that they have, but you only have to, depending on how many people are running through your system, you only have to change your filters once a year. So that's nice. It's a bigger upfront cost, but like he said, noticing, it's like someone who's trying to save money and you're like, well, let's look at what you spend your money on. You go to the coffee shop every day, multiple times. You can just make coffee at home and you will save so much money. So it's kind of like that.
It'll be made with better water.
I looked at it where it was like, okay, it's a bigger cost up front, but life is long. And if this is going to be something that can make my loved ones' lives even longer, and you change your filter one time a year, for what was it, Lakota, like a few $100s?
Yeah, $250.
$250. You have 3 filters one time a year. I mean, Lakota was spending $250 a week on water.
Exactly.
You know, so
and the
it
machines
really
are meant to last 10 years, 10-year lifespan on the machine. So it definitely is an investment. People need to value their health more, I believe, but it's trending that way. But with accessibility and everything with the water, it's just a slam dunk with the product. And that's what I was explaining when I was going over everything earlier. The importance of the product and why I was personally so excited is because you can help people help their bodies and their families and do so much with so little, with just one little product. And so it's like perfect for me to be able to do something like this.
So explain the science behind the machine and what it does to actually make the water alkaline versus bottled water that we buy that's, supposedly alkaline.
Sure.
Well, and add in there too, just even just discussing the difference between like H2O and H2O2 and like, and clusters basically.
Yep,
and what that, yeah.
I will. All right. So the systems themselves hook up to your source water. So we just use regular old tap water. So pretty much anywhere in the world, you could have accessibility to one of these systems. So the first step of the machine is the foundation and my personal opinion, the most important, because you have to have a good foundation before you build anything. And so the first part's filtration. So we use a 3-stage super filter that's able to remove everything bad, but keep the good stuff. So I'll break that down. So the first stage is a micron filter. So since I'm at the store and you can see everything, this is the first super filter. So pretty big, as you see. So this guy, you use a silver colloidal lining on this to help sterilize bacteria, but also to pull heavy metals. So this is able to remove fluoride, mercury, lead, and other contaminants and bacteria just in this stage. And then it has a nano membrane, so it's able to actually allow some of that minerals that's needed. Like I said, the good stuff's able to bypass to still be contained naturally. And so believe it or not, in tap water, there is good stuff along with all the bad stuff, right?
Something good.
And so there's minerals that are organic, and electrolytes, a fancy word for mineral. So your electrolytes are naturally found in your source waters all across the country, which would be calcium, magnesium, and potassium. So that's your alkalizing minerals. That's what's helping to help with absorbability. That's what's helping with pH balance, hydration, everything. So that's all contained on the good side. And that's what's able to be contained naturally after filtration. And so the filters, that's the first stage you saw, helps absorb all that and keeps it in the filter. And then the second stage, we have 2 filters inside of the machine itself that's able to get anything after the first stage, if anything were to get through, a carbon block filter. And then the second stage is a ceramic dual filter with an antibacterial bilayer. So anything else gets through, you have the third line of defense. So you got the best water at that stage, which some people just drink the purified because they can't handle the alkaline, or babies, they're already alkaline for up to about 2 years old till they start putting bad stuff in their bodies. So they don't really need alkaline. So the purified setting, as you probably have seen, Brooke, has strictly filters. It doesn't go through the second step. So the second step is the step where the magic happens, per se. And so that's going to make it more alkaline. That's going to help with ionizing it and creating that negative charge. And I'll break down how that happens. So think of, in the machine, think of like a plate. So we stack platinum titanium plates together so they're very conductive. Those are the best metals for conductivity. And then we attach it to a power supply. So you get your plates, your power supply, and then the motherboard and all that. But the motherboard just controls different settings because there's different drinking settings. There's a cooking setting, cleaning setting on the machines. So the power supply supplies the plates an electrical charge. So think of a magnet. So when the water passes over the plates, it's able to split the water into 2 streams. One side's acidic, one side's alkaline. But along with, we use alkaline on this the whole time. And alkaline's great, but the biggest thing is what Brooke was saying is the hydrogen, that antioxidant. And so that can only be produced through these systems and needs to be consumed within about 3 days to get the maximum benefits. And so you can't even bottle this and shelve it anywhere unless you were distributing like I do. Pumping it fresh, people fill up their jugs and then they come back. Or you can fill your jugs and they're okay up to about 30 days, but the water's so fresh that it has a shelf life. I don't recommend drinking it after it being stored for 30 days because it's so fresh. But with the water being split, the alkaline side is going to contain those minerals. So calcium, magnesium, potassium, all that's contained in that. So that's why you want to drink the alkaline side. Also, alkaline's good because higher alkalinity, just like your fruits and veggies, when you consume it, it helps absorb faster because the stomach's pH sensitive. And so when you eat acidic foods, your stomach's already acidic. So it just sits in there, breaks it down, digests, does its thing. But when you put in alkaline stuff, I'm sure y'all have had those detox juices or done juicing or ate like a salad or something really healthy. and it goes
None
straight
of
to your system. None of those.
Run straight out of me.
Yes, straight out of you. y'all digest. You feel good. Like if you're going to hit a workout, you're not eating a burger and fries before a workout. I mean, unless you're trying to get a crazy pump and you eat healthy regularly, you know what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
when you eat healthy like that, you absorb it a lot faster. You can digest. Your body is like, okay, this is what I need. Versus you eat a bunch of bad food, cake, bunch of alcohol. Your body's like, oh, it doesn't know what to do. It has to store it all, digest it, and then flush it out. Eventually, it takes longer. I'm sure everybody's had that feeling where you're like almost like a couch potato, where like you just feel groggy after eating, and you're just like, I don't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Versus when you eat something healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Everybody's had it.
Yep.
And so that's the concept with this water is it's so fresh and organic that whenever you drink it, it absorbs almost instantly because your stomach's so pH sensitive. There's also, since we're on this topic of stomach and alkaline, there's a little ambiguity online and what people have heard about alkaline water affecting the stomach in terms of making it too alkaline or hurting digestion or something like that. That's only going to be if it's bottled alkaline because they're chemically altering alkaline with buffers like sodium bicarbonate, which is pretty much baking soda, potassium chloride, sodium bicarbonates as well. So what that does is it sits in the stomach because it's truly acidic, but it buffers the stomach acid and it causes issues with digestion. Versus this water we have is all through a natural process. So we don't have to use any buffers. It's all natural. So it really will improve digestive health. It will improve because with your intestines and your colon and everything, if it's all cleaned and you don't have junk built up, it makes a big difference long term for your health. That's why we've seen so much health benefits. But to get into exactly what's contained in the water itself on the alkaline side is going to have those minerals, like I said, but also that negative charge on it because when the water molecules get through the plates, they're electrified per se. So what that electrical current does to the water molecules is pretty much speeds them up and it breaks them apart. And this is what we call microclustering. So basic molecules, due to all the different chemicals and junk that's put in to our tap water, comes in considered to be sluggish or dead water. And so if you look at it at the actually microscopic level, those water molecules are just like kind of stagnant, moving around. They're in cluster formations of about 15 to 19 molecules per strand. So when you drink water at the cellular level, there's something called an aquaporin on every cell. And this regulates cellular hydration. And so when you consume regular tap or like sodas or like Body Armor stuff that like is sweet sports drinks, Gatorade and all that, to bottled water, it's in that formation as well. So it's sluggish. So when you drink it, you're not actually absorbing it and retaining it. I'm sure everybody's had bloating from drinking a bunch of water. You just never feel like you can like fully quench your thirst. And you just drink a bunch of water. You're just still like, I don't feel good still. Like after like a hangover day, you're like, I can never feel better. Like, why?
You're so full, you're so exhausted still. And for me, it's like you can hear the water sloshing.
Yeah, it's like
you've just been drinking it and you're like, wait.
Yeah.
Yep. Hydrate me.
Because, it's because it's not absorbing and retaining because it's so acidic. And so that's the most important thing with the clustering that we do to the water molecules is because it breaks them down about 1/3 of the size. So it's in 5 to 7 molecule formations. But this is only present for about 3 days because you can't have an electrical or negative charge on anything and it not eventually run out. That's just, I guess, physics in the world we're in. And so with the water itself, best to consume it fresh, but that negative charge is going to be measured in what we call ORP. And so ORP stands for oxygen reduction potential. And so the ORP on the water that we have can range all the way up to negative 1,000. And so that's pretty much just measuring antioxidants. And so at the cellular level, what causes harm is, of course, acids, but also it's going to be free radicals. Free radicals cause oxidative stress on the body and the cells. That's what causes aging. So you get in other stuff, of course, like deterioration, sickness, and all that. But the more antioxidants you put in the body, the less you age. So I already can see Brooks, you're like reverse aging.
You're telling me we found the sound of you?
I'm just getting older and older over here. Yeah, I agree.
No, really. It really helps to disarm free radicals. So due to that negative charge. So another buzzword like alkaline is hydrogen. That is going to have more of the hydrogen contained on the drinking water when it's pumped fresh. That's how it has more of that negative charge. But the most important thing is those ions being charged the way they are. It allows for that extra hydrogen to go in and become a scavenger for the oxidative unstable free radicals that are all over our body, caused from everything that we're exposed to. The air we're breathing is acidic. The rain is even acidic. We've tested it. And so everything nowadays is causing harm, stress to the food we eat, everything. So the more antioxidants and the more hydration and the more oxygen you get at the cellular level, that's where you can really see some amazing things, from feeling better, looking better, to longevity, to pretty much whatever you want out of life. Just feeling better. I personally am an advocate. Just you feel better, you look good, you can do good.
100%.
Yep.
I was like,
Feel good, look good, do good.
That's it. all these new sayings. So I guess since we're on the other spectrum of things, we talked alkaline, drinking, negative charge on this side, but we're talking acidic now. So the acidic side is also beneficial for sanitizing, disinfecting, and kill bacteria. So the acidic side is going to be acidic, but also have a positive charge. So it's going to be oxidative on this side. And so that's why it actually has potential to kill stuff. Because if it's just acidic water, like Ozarka or Deer Park bottled water, it's acidic, but it doesn't have that potential to kill anything because it doesn't have that charge. So that positive charge is only going to be present about 3 days as well. So it's best to use the acidic water from your machine directly, or if you have a little spray bottle, it's easy. You just go get a little bit, fill it up, and just keep it going. But the acidic water is filtered as well. So it's really good for the skin. You can even use it for cuts, burns in the mouth, anything like that. So overall, topically, the acidic water is awesome for hair too. And then also a lot of people that are getting systems typically are healthier. So they want lots of fruits and veggies. And so fruits and veggies nowadays, even if they're organic, you got to wash them correctly. So the acidic water is able to get rid of oil-based pesticides, herbicides, and all this different junk on your produce. And we actually did studies with chicken and meats and stuff, where you're able to, with the acidic water, get rid of salmonella, E. coli, and other bacteria that grow on that stuff. So a lot of people wash their meats as well. So it's really awesome with the systems being able to go in the kitchen area, multifunctional with that healthy lifestyle. Some people I got don't care about being healthy, like I said, and they just drink the water. They don't use it for anything else. But I say 80% of our clients use it for everything. Cooking, you can cook on the highest setting. It infuses the food really good. It helps with supplements, helps with everything tasting better. You're not cooking with nasty tap water. And then the acidic setting you can use to sanitize everything and go more chemical free in the home. But it's very, very good for fruits and veggies. You soak it for about 2 minutes and you'll see all this grime come off of it. It helps to bypass that bilayer of oil-based pesticides they use to be able to do what they do with fruits and veggies. They have to use that, or all the bugs and stuff would eat them. So that's why they use the oil-based. So also when the rain just beads off of it, as you see. So it's a really efficient way to get rid of all that junk.
Interesting. Brooke, weren't you
really
using some
efficient
kind
way.
of wash or something for that stuff?
Yep.
Oh no. There was Lakota. I'm kind of a crazy person. And once I start understanding something and reading about it, or I'm like all in. I got to figure it out, because I definitely am someone, obviously, through health and fitness and my diet and paying attention to all of those things, I am health conscious. So anytime although I did not take the water seriously years ago, but I am doing it now. There was a veggie wash that was all natural and biodegradable. And I'd seen this video of this old guy that was showing, and it was kind of, I think, like a green color. And I do not remember what it was called, but it was this like biodegradable wash that was all natural, but so it said, did the same thing. Like it was a better way to wash your fruits and vegetables. And they had a video, I think I sent it to you, Jeanna, and he had a thing of broccoli. And he showed that if you ran water over the broccoli, it just beaded on it, right? And beads on it and runs off. And then he had washed the broccoli with this specific solution, I guess. And then after showing, it was running through the broccoli. It was actually penetrating, getting through all the little pieces. And I was like, okay, I need it.
Yep.
Where do I get it?
I know, but how cool that you can just do it with the water. Oh, jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, my mom, we've been washing. I wiped the counters off with it and washing all the fruits and vegetables with it. But now, I mean, next thing I'm going to do is be like, we got to rinse all of our meat with it too. Didn't know.
Rinse the meat and everything. And that veggie wash stuff, it's still pretty popular. Some people still get it from like the nicer grocery stores like Whole Foods and Fresh Market and stuff where I'm at. But it's not cheap. And they still have to say
it's expensive. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, they still have to use some sort of chemical base in there to remove certain things. And so that's the accessibility. Just touch of a button, you can do it all in the kitchen area. And so
I love that.
I'm very routine based, and so I mean, some people might call me OCD. I feel like it's a good thing though. But like every week when I'm shopping for groceries and stuff, I'll get all my fruits and veggies, and I'll put all my veggies in one bin and all my fruits in one bin, and then soak it for about 2 minutes. And then after, let it dry. You don't have to re-rinse it with alkaline. You just, after the acidic, since it's filtered acidic water, you're good to go. And what I do is I take my glass containers and then I'll throw all my different stuff, my fruits, cut them up after that, store it, and then stick it in the fridge. And it makes a world of difference with, of course, being healthier, but just the accessibility of, I want this fruit, it's already cut, it's already clean. I can just eat it and grab and go.
Yeah.
It just makes life a little bit more efficient.
Yeah. I had a friend who was obsessed with that veggie wash, and I swore every time I ate at their house that I had diarrhea after.
About that.
Hey, you still get some of that in there, I'm sure.
It's because the chemicals that are in it, Jeanna.
I swear, I was like, every single time I'm like, why do I end up with like almost shitting my pants? And sometimes, like right after I eat at these people's house, like, and I felt so bad because, you know, they were very like health conscious and, you know, all this stuff. And every time I was like, and they lived in like a really tiny house with one bathroom. And I'd be like, cool. Now I have to go. And the door is right next to
everyone
the
knows what I'm doing.
Yeah, you just know that I'm gonna have diarrhea after we go to their house. Like, what the fuck? I used to tell my husband, I'm like, I don't think I can eat there anymore. This is like just it's too embarrassing. Like
Gina's like, we gotta go.
And every single time I'm like, what is it? It's gotta be that fucking veggie wash. It's the veggie.
Hey, they're not judging you because if it's doing that to you, it's doing it to them. And they're like, oh yeah.
That's just what happens. That's detoxing.
Yeah, it's detoxing. We're flushing your system. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
in my jeans.
Yeah, I just feel shamed every single time I'm there. Bring an extra change of clothes.
No to veggie wash. Yes, no to acidic water.
Yeah, see that? Yeah, I like that idea.
That's it. No, I like it. So I guess to go back a little bit, what I was talking about, water in general, that's how the system works. And it's super simple and efficient. And everything's controlled like little digital touchpad and everything. We have nice finishes, one that goes under the counter if you own your home, a more mobile unit if you got to travel. So we'll talk about that later with you, Brooke, about hooking you up with a mobile unit, because I know you're going to be traveling a lot. So we'll talk about that. But overall, with the water world, back in the day, everything wasn't as polluted. Like I was saying, people could just drink at the tap. But now, I mean, they have, it's like wisteria or some like bacteria that's in mountain water now that causes you to have diarrhea, and you get like stomach aches and stuff, issues, even if the water is like running, flowing and everything. So it's crazy how we've come to times like this. But the best way I explain the water, like on a organic level, is back in the day when your ice melted from the mountains and ran over on a downward gradient over those rocks, since there's a lot of minerals on the rocks up there in the north as well, it picked up a natural ionic presence. And even 120 years ago, they have recorded certain tribes and areas of communities of people that had longer lifespans than everybody else. And so they studied them and they were like, what are y'all doing differently? They were eating a little bit cleaner and stuff. But the biggest thing they noticed was they were getting water from what they called like the fountain of youth. But they measured this water and tested it. It was very alkaline and it was ionized. So it had that negative charge to it. And so I found that to be very cool when I first got into the company of these places that had already figured it out. And like I was saying, hundreds of years ago, we didn't have this issue and everybody could drink better water. So I believe that is a reason why people had, I guess, less problems.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's got problems nowadays.
I mean, you sold me after you said Brooke looked younger. I'm already 20 years older. Like, I can't let that shit happen. Like she's going backward in age. I need to go. I know.
Hey, we got you. We got
go
you.
with her. You know, this is kind of bullshit.
Hey, we got
Jeanna,
you.
I know that you've got to go soon,
I
but
do.
Maybe just right before you leave, will you? And we
Well, I can't leave because I'm recording.
That's true. So
Yeah.
we will. We should totally have you on another time. Lakota, to talk about this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, let's do it.
will you just briefly describe, for instance, like on the unit, it's got your cluster, it's got your purified, and it's got your sterion. So your alkaline, purified, acidic. But on the purified, or sorry, excuse me, on the cluster, there's 3 settings.
Correct.
And I know that the first one was is it kind of just like an intro into how much alkaline to have present in your body if you really have none, so you kind of adjust or adapt through that?
Yes, great question. So there's 3 settings. Cluster 1 is about a 9 alkalinity level. Cluster 2 is about a 10, and cluster 3 is about an 11. And so alkalinity has a part to play for digestion and helping to balance the body and stuff. But like I was saying, the most important part is the clusters. And so the difference between cluster 1 and cluster 2 is 10 times more power in terms of detox and hydration capabilities. And from cluster 1 to cluster 3 is 20 times more. And so it's going to detox you. It's going to flush you out. It's going to balance you, hydrate you, and everything more than most people have never consumed water like this. So the reason that we don't just say, go to the highest level, no harmful side effects, but it can give you a slight headache for the amount of oxygen, especially if you're not doing anything and you chug a half gallon of the water, you'll get a pounding headache. But if you're doing something and you haven't acclimated, never drank the water, you're exercising or anything, you could drink 3, drink a bunch of it fast, but the oxygen has somewhere to go. So the way I explain it is think of altitude sickness in terms of a deprivation of oxygen. You feel kind of that euphoria of like a headache, kind of like, I guess, out of body feeling almost some people have. And so same concept with a surplus of oxygen. And so that's why we acclimate people accordingly. And when it comes to the actual consumption of this water specifically, like I was saying, most people have never consumed it. And so that's where you also get the side effects of detoxing, flushing you out. And so we recommend people to drink cluster 1 for about like a week or 2, but everybody's bodies are different. So Brooke, that's why I told you to go straight up to the highest level because you're already so healthy and fit. There's not much acid and toxins that it has to combat versus somebody that is overweight, doesn't eat good, and has a lot of acid and doesn't exercise or anything. It's going to take a lot longer for them to detox and acclimate their body to this water. You could speed it up if you are okay with that detox. And I had some people that were like, all right, I'm going to the highest level, and they drank it all the time. They started eating better and everything from that, but they still went about a month of sweats at night, like different.
I'm back to having some night sweats.
Really?
And I go to the oh yeah. Well, and here's the thing too, is like I've had a period of time. Have had hormonal issues the past couple of years, and prior to working with a doctor, I was having night sweats. I mean, it's almost it's embarrassing to say, and it's disgusting to witness.
Yeah, no,
it's so bad. And just like the last like few nights, it's not intense night sweats, but it is a little bit. And I am going to the bathroom all the time, and so it makes me feel really good. It's like, oh, that's why. Because I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I told my mom, I was like, why? Why again? What's wrong?
No, it's actually probably a good thing, because when your body's in that fasted mode of not eating and you're sleeping, that your body's getting out certain things that you might not be able to detox while you're having food or you're active in that REM sleep. So that's probably what's going on, is it's helping maybe work on something that you don't even know.
Just getting younger. Over here just
That's
getting
it.
younger.
Yeah, fuck off.
Lakota's really 70 years old. Look how good he looks.
Yeah, I just turned 72.
Crushing it.
Of course, a man can age well, you know.
That's it. That's it. You should see all these other
A
girls.
man that eats
Yeah.
good water.
Yeah.
Yep. All these other
Eats
girls
water,
walking
drinks
in here,
water.
like that. You saw that one older client in here just now.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
So she just started drinking the water, I think like last week. But give her another 2 weeks, and she'll be walking here like she's 21, supermodel, with her little aloe set on.
We're like, say less. Where do we sign?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Sign
already
everybody
signed.
up.
I already signed. I'm way ahead of you guys.
Yep.
Yeah, well, we
Sign 'em
know.
up. Yep, you're next.
I know. Sorry, I have to go to work.
No, you're good.
Lakota-
You're good. Let's do it again.
Yeah,
Yes,
we'll do it again
Lakota,
for sure.
Thank you so much for coming on. And I'm already thinking like this is perfect. Because I've tried to explain to like friends, family, but I'm like, now I'm just gonna be like, and you don't have to listen to all my podcast episodes or watch the videos, but you have to watch this one.
Yes.
Listen to this one, and then it will
Yes.
explain it in detail that I can't quite do. So
Yep. You can have some
thank
fun,
you.
laugh a
Really
little bit.
appreciate it.
My pleasure. We'll do a bunch more stuff. Hopefully, if we can do some good stuff and we get some good feedback from the podcast, I'm more than happy to book a flight and come up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to go
Come
to
hang
Utah.
out with you. Yeah, hit a workout, get some other video content done. I mean, like you said, with a store, I'm serious about doing some expansion in some stores. And I think that after we talk a little bit more, some business stuff, I think this would be a slam dunk for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I am going to call you.
Yeah, call me.
Me and
Whatever.
Lakota have been trying. Well, it's really me. He's ready. It's like to have a phone call like after I got my system installed, and we'll text back and forth. And I'm like, yes, I'm going to call you this week. And then all of a sudden, I've like got to take my nephew to swimming lessons, and I had to stay over at my sister's house with their kids last night. Like, I'm working and I'm busy, but then I've added this extra layer of being because I live back at home in Southern Utah, like an extension of help for my siblings and for family. So it's like when I don't have something going, I have something going that's almost more difficult because they're children.
Not a problem. You got your stealth water, so you're able to do it all.
Energized.
Do it all. Last thing I'll leave you with, I guess all three of y'all, since we're talking hair, shower filters, I did just get a message from a company that we used to partner with. They're back in business now doing their shower kits again, and it's able to filter chlorine, other junk out, but it's able to add lavender and collagen if you want it in the water as well. So it's really good for the hair. But we'll talk about that next time. But I'll send y'all the link and y'all can get one, and I'll help you set it up and everything.
Yeah.
That'd be
Thank
cool.
you.
Thank you, Lakota. So nice to meet you.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Real quick before you go, tell our
Oh, yeah,
listeners
where can people
they
find
find
you? Sorry,
Oh,
Deb.
say that again.
Just tell our listeners where they can find Stealth Water.
Okay. So you can find Stealth Water in terms of actual stores down here in New Orleans where we're at. And to get in contact with us, it's really easy. You can go to our website and contact us, or our social media platforms. Instagram's probably the best, just because direct message us, or you can get our direct number. But my personal contact, y'all can share on the podcast. My business line that you talked to me on, Devin and Brooke. Feel free to share that. That's the best way to get in touch with us. And when it comes to actually getting a product, it's super easy. We build everything in-house here in the States. So within about a week, we ship your machines out, and then we personally can have our own techs come out and do the installation for you. Or if you have somebody capable, it's not that hard. You can do it yourself, but we can do installations globally. Anywhere. I just did one in Barcelona. I just did one in Australia.
That's a shitty place to go.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
So more than happy to help.
Yeah.
Anybody we can to get them hooked up with water. Everybody is somebody that we care for, and we want them to have better water. So feel free. Best way to contact me, just call me. I answer my phone.
That's sweet. Well, right after you hang up, Lakota, we'll broadcast your phone number to everyone.
Hey, broadcast it. I don't care. More business.
He's like, why am I
Yeah.
getting all these dick pics? Everybody send Lakota a dick pic. I'm just kidding.
Who are all
It's
these
his
girls? Who are all these girls? They must have saw the podcast.
I watch the video. You're so handsome. Can we go on a date? Also, yeah,
Like I've
I'll try
never
your
regretted
water.
sharing my number with anybody as much as Jeanna. Just kidding.
Hey, I'll take it.
I won't
Whatever
have it.
we
I
can
won't
to make
have
a
it.
sale.
I won't have it.
Perfect.
Whatever we can to make a sale.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Seriously. Call me.
Yep. All right, y'all.
I'm a
All right,
whore
Lakota
for a
will-
sale.
Y'all take it easy. I'll be in touch.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon, Brooke.
Yes.
And
Yep.
thank you, Devin, for everything. And pleasure to meet you as well.
Hey, nice to meet you, Lakota. Take care,
I'll
bud.
take it easy. I'll see you
All right,
soon.
Yeah,
We'll do another
talk
one.
soon.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
Bye.
Bye.
He's adorable.
He's adorable.
Yeah.
He is adorable and knows his shit. I don't
Yeah.
know. I was just looking them up. I'm like, I think I'm sold, but I'm going to have to, wait until after my kid's wedding's over before I can afford one.
So I was thinking about it. So, and then we'll let you go, Jeanna. I did
Yeah.
the one it's installed. So it's they came out. He was going to come, but then he wasn't able to make it. They actually had to push the installation date. But they drilled in the granite, and it's really, really nice and pretty. And it's got all these buttons on it, and it actually has a button that lights up that tells you when you need to change your filters. It has a cleaning process on its own that button will light up saying it's basically doing a cleaning process. And you've got your cluster button at the top, purified, and then the sterilization button. And it's awesome. And those of you that are listening, you obviously have no real reason to trust me, but I will tell you that I have done extensive research and learning and educating myself before I made this big purchase, because it's a big purchase. But it's investment in your health. It's kind of like people that don't want to pay for a gym membership, but they really want to get in shape. It's like, well, you got to invest in yourself and invest in your health. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening today. Don't forget to
Rate, review, subscribe, 5-star rating, 5-star warning, and we'll talk to you next week.
Talk to you next week, you guys.
talk to you next week, guys. Bye.